I'm getting confirmation from our producer, who is upset that I'm stalling a little bit for time, but we are hopping into game number 1 of Northeastern versus the University of South Carolina. Whew, this should be a good one.
Yeah, losers finals is just about to be underway. The battle of the red and black in this one. Well, I guess kind of red and black for Northeastern. I guess red is kind of their tertiary color, but you know, still red and black on the board. And here we go, folks. We have South Carolina in their red, and we have Northeastern in white. Game number 1 getting underway here, and we see some early back and forth between both sides.
I mean, we saw Og already getting very aggressive for South Carolina, and the bumps, the physicality is starting out very quickly. We've seen this before from South Carolina. They like to get aggressive. They like to go for these demos, but already from both sides, both of these teams, bumps are already just flying.
Yeah, and Cats with an incredible save. And Northeastern looked like they had an early goal yet again, and it's Cats again. I was talking about a different time, but he just wanted to show it while I was speaking. And what a save that is. Cats right now anchoring it down for South Carolina, and now Solar trying to get the counterattack started for South Carolina, but not quite able to do anything.
And while we're watching here, it is just a back and forth. A minute in already, both these teams just kind of floating around, passing the ball, feeling each other out a little bit, trying to figure out where those weaknesses are. When we were interviewing, when we were talking with the players before all of this went down, a lot of teams said that they were worried about GMU and they were worried about Northeastern. I feel like in the beginning, day 1 of this tournament, we didn't see that much out of Northeastern, but today, they have been putting on a show and showing why they need and they deserve to be feared in this tournament.
Yeah, kind of really coming out of nowhere. You know, I think a lot of teams might have written them off a bit, and really showing their true colors, why they're the best. And speaking of the best, Og getting the best save right there. I mean, what a save that was. And now Shot Guy trying to give Northeastern the counterattack, but nothing gonna quite come of it. And one thing I kind of want to touch on is Northeastern has kind of quietly gotten to this point. You know, I think crawling their way through and really just performing consistently all day out of a team, as you said, who wasn't that consistent the day before.
Oh my gosh, and Northeastern getting so aggressive. South Carolina with the preemptive jumps, getting in the way, getting in front of it. Cats there to make the save. We saw Shot Guy really trying to put a shot into the net. Wasn't quite able to, was just lining it up. Yellow again, and this is what we're seeing. It's just this back and forth, No one really has had full possession of the ball or a full potential to get a goal. They've been close. There have been a couple of shots, a couple of attempts, but it's just not enough. Solar up in the air, it gets knocked away, and again, we're seeing a lot of disruptions, a lot of interceptions, a lot of attempts, but no one has made full contact yet.
So many back and forth, such close chances on both ends. We've seen the ball literally inches from going in the back of the net, and both teams have been able to keep it out. We have gone 3 minutes, over halfway into this game without a goal, which shows how good the defenses are for both of these sides and why they are here at this exact moment. And Cats is going to put that one in the back of the net. Defensive error from Northeastern, missing that ball off of the top bar, and Cats cleans it up. The M&K player coming in clutch.
The M&K, the KVM? I mean, yeah, mouse and
keyboard. Either
yeah,
one.
You're right. You know what? I just hadn't heard before. But absolutely, South Carolina starts things off strong, and they're going again for more. Og right off the kickoff, going for the attempt. It doesn't matter, though. It won't go in, and Northeastern trying to start their own attack. They do get the demo. The net is open, and just like that, Shot Guy ties it back up. Northeastern is still in this.
And what a demo that is. Without that, South Carolina more than likely would have stopped that attempt. And Northeastern, knowing that, had the knowledge and awareness to make sure that that player for South Carolina was taken out of the equation. And now we're back right to square one, folks, 1-1, and now we're seeing demos out left and right. Northeastern knows that they need to try to be aggressive to win this one.
They do indeed, and for the first 3 minutes of this match, it was very quiet, but now both of these teams are getting very loud. They're getting aggressive. They want to be in the net. We see a demo, but the save is there. They stop it, and now South Carolina is on the attack. They're pushing forward. Og is there trying to center it. It gets knocked away. We see another demo from Northeastern. The attempt, it will be stopped out by Solar, who's coming back.
And one thing you have to be careful with if you are Northeastern is if you get too aggressive, you can face the counterattack like that, and that's exactly what South Carolina wants you to do. They want you to get complacent, and then they strike just like that. Og with the goal.
It's like the panther in the forest. They wait for you to drop your guard. Og makes it right over Yellow, who just barely touches it but can't get the defense. And just like that, South Carolina is in the lead. 42 seconds remaining.
That's plenty of time, Alex.
Plenty of time. Northeastern needs to figure out what they want to do, and Shot Guy almost gets it there, but Fraser's there. The net is open once more, and Northeastern ties it up 2-2. 30 seconds remaining.
I did say it was plenty of time, but they still have plenty of time, Alex. What a quick response by Northeastern. Exactly what you need if you are a Northeastern fan.
Absolutely. It seems like anytime that South Carolina has an opportunity, they have an opening, Northeastern is there. They just are ready to counterattack and to take the game into their own hands. The question, though, is South Carolina has gotten the first goal every time in this matchup. Can Northeastern flip the switch here? Can they change the script and get a goal of their own?
And that ball was deceptively close to going in. Fraser gonna find a demo onto Solar, and now maybe a last-second goal. We haven't seen a 0-second goal in this game that has decided the match, and we are gonna have to wait for that to come, because overtime in match number 1, Alex, we have seen it before.
We have seen it before, and we will see it again. Solar up in the air. Again, we're seeing South Carolina get aggressive early on after kickoff. This is what we've seen every single time. Again, though, the question that I'm asking is, can Northeastern get the goal first? Because South Carolina, for the most part, have been in control. They've been setting the pace of this game, and Northeastern has just been counterattacking. They've been reacting to what South Carolina has done.
Yeah, South Carolina really does well at controlling pace of the game, but when it starts to get away, they might get a little bit panicky. And we haven't seen really too much of them being contested on that, except for George Mason, and they did really well to adjust to George Mason when they did. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and Northeastern says, we don't have to wait anymore. We want the win on match number 1, and they do just that. Who else but the top scorer in the tournament? Yellow.
It has to be Yellow. If anyone is going to do it, Yellow will. And just, wow, game 1. That was just game 1.
This is crazy. I mean, absolute unreal insanity from both of these teams, and the level of competition we're seeing. We've said it so much, Alex, but it's so good. It's just so fierce and competitive and even, and this is exactly what you want out of a tournament.
This is exactly what you want out of a grand finals, let alone a losers finals,
yeah,
right?
We're not even there.
Yeah, we're still working our way up there, and these teams are just going insane. I mean, game 1, overtime, and Northeastern squeaks out the win just barely while trailing the entirety of that game 1.
Every single game of this series going to overtime?
It sounds
I don't know if my heart can take that.
I don't know if my heart can take it, but it sounds like a premonition. I would definitely believe that it could happen.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
I don't doubt it.
We've seen so many tight series, and I have a feeling this is going to shape up to be one of those. Even if we don't see a game 5, I imagine it could be something like the Syracuse-Clemson series, where yes, it was the 3-0. Every single game was decided by 1 goal. So,
yeah,
I imagine we'll see something similar to that or even closer, Alex, as we head into match number 2. Early demos flying out already.
Yeah, here we go, starting things off strong. The ball is in the air, but again, it always ends up after kickoff. It always ends up in Northeastern's half. I don't know what South Carolina put in the water, but whatever it is, they just win these kickoffs 9 times out of 10. They just constantly win the kickoffs, and they have that early game aggression. But Frazier with the air dribble tries to get it past one of the defenders, but cannot. South Carolina is there to stop that attack, and Frazier has to go home a little bit sad.
Yeah, and Frazier again trying to pressure this goal. And Og with a fantastic save right there. And now, a minute in, back and forth, we've seen pressure from both sides. South Carolina trying to wait and see if they make a mistake. And we see almost every person for Northeastern up here. And if South Carolina can get onto that ball, I mean, could be in trouble. And we see Cats taking out Yellow. Frazier with another shot. Looks like Frazier wants to try and catch up to his teammate.
I mean, who wouldn't though, right? You want to make sure that you're here, that you're getting the recognition that you know, hey, my teammates are doing really well. I also want to do well. Although speaking of that, it did look like Shockeye just blocked one of the teammates shooting on the net, so that's a little awkward.
It happens. It happens.
A little bit of a miscommunication.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than scoring an own goal. So I mean,
true.
Hopefully we don't see any of that. Meanwhile, speaking of goals, though, Yellow having to go on the opposite end and make a save this time. And now maybe a counterattack opportunity presenting itself for Northeastern. But looks like South Carolina is going to be able to deal with that very well and keep the pressure onto Northeastern.
Now, I'm not a very superstitious person, but the more you talk, the more it just sounds like flags that you keep putting up. Where,
like Minesweeper?
Not like Minesweeper, like you know, you say something and you're causing it to happen by the fact that you're saying it.
Yeah, because it's casting curse.
Yeah,
it happens every time I cast, Alex. you know this by now.
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little scared here, and every time you say something a little worrying, I feel like a flag has happened. But South Carolina, they are not worried about anything. They are putting the aggression. They are laying the attack on thick, and it's all that Northeastern can do to just stay alive.
Yeah, and there it is. Cats finally puts an end to that onslaught, but only momentarily.
Only momentarily.
And South Carolina did exactly what we saw a lot of the other teams do yesterday, and that's be aggressive and starve other teams, and they did it so well right there. I think Northeastern didn't have a single player over 50 when that goal was scored.
Yeah, I completely agree. That is exactly what happened there. What a weird, strange kickoff. We've been talking about how well that South Carolina's kickoffs have been, but that one was a little weird. It doesn't matter. They don't need it because Solar is there to finish it off.
Yeah, and what an amazing finish. Really takes advantage of that mistake by Northeastern. And now South Carolina trying to prove me wrong and say, hey, we want to win this by more than one goal. What you said about the Syracuse-Clemson series, that this is going to be similar, that's not going to happen. So I think I'm starting to see what you mean by everything me saying is going to be the opposite. But I know one thing that's not opposite is that this being a great series, and what a save by Shot Guy. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, Cats does not miss right now. South Carolina is just being so aggressive. They are oppressive right now. Northeastern can't even leave their goal line without threat of being scored on, and even the threat coming to fruition. It's 3-0 in favor of South Carolina.
Yeah, and what an adjustment by South Carolina after dropping the first round, and just like that, the team is completely turned around and different, and now the crowd is getting into it too. I mean, they're excited. Granted, they do see it a little bit later than us, but that's something for another time. Demo comes out from Frazier, and South Carolina trying to stay aggressive. Northeastern trying to mount on offensive to counter this aggression, but will it be enough?
Oh my gosh, another beautiful shot from Og. It will get stopped out, but again, even if South Carolina isn't making these goals, the fact that they are still trying, the fact that they are still shooting on the Northeastern goal line just makes it that much more difficult for Northeastern to start mounting a counterattack, to start getting themselves back into this game, and all the while time is just ticking away.
Yeah, and we see another great shot by Frazier, but it goes just high. And now, a minute remaining. Northeastern still needing 3 goals. Do or die time is now. Well, I mean, you still have more rounds, but still.
For this game.
Yeah, for this game. Do or die time is now. South Carolina trying to stop them and looking like stalwarts in the back.
They are indeed. I like that. Stalwarts, but you can't get past this red wall that is South Carolina. Never mind.
Yep.
That's a Cats and Curse.
And now you know how it feels.
Just as soon as I was saying you cannot get past that red wall of South Carolina.
It's without fail, man.
Northeastern comes in and makes it over the wall. Hey, if there's a wall on your way, just jump over it. Just fly over it. Easy.
I mean, yeah, especially when you're in
a rocket-propelled car?
Yeah, rocket-propelled car hitting a ball. That definitely works out for that. But 20 seconds remaining in this one, Alex. And now a shot from Solar goes just wide, hitting the near post and going out. That was so close to being 4-1. And meanwhile, on the other end, we see Cats coming back around and scoring. And there is Og scoring. I meant to say Cats shooting and Og scoring. And then right as I went to say that, Og scored. So I kind of just spoke that into existence as well.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say about this is they didn't need to do it to him like that. They had already won.
It's a security goal. It's a
security goal. I don't think Northeastern was going to get 3 goals in 3 seconds.
You never know. It was 4 seconds, actually.
4 seconds. You're right. Yeah. You're right. But with that, USC will secure game number 2, going up 1-1 in the series. We knew that this was going to be competitive. We knew it was going to be close. And already these teams are proving us correct.
But you have to remember. Every game of Rocket League is different. We saw it yesterday with George Mason up against Coastal. We saw them go up 7-0. And all of a sudden they came back and scored. Or was it Coastal? I don't believe it was Coastal.
It wasn't GMU, but it was Coastal.
It was Coastal against Clemson.
Someone.
Against someone. I know that. But you cannot count an entire series out based on 1 or 2 games. So it's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on as we head into game 3 shortly. But one thing I want to talk about is just the absolute amazing play from Og. I mean, he has been everywhere for every series and has been so consistent for this team. And I mean, it's been absolutely unreal to watch.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about it before, you can't mention South Carolina without mentioning Og specifically. I feel like Og is just kind of one of those standout players. It is like the celebrity for that South Carolina lineup, and that's exactly what we've been saying. We've just been seeing Og over and over and over again. But I think the reason that Og can do so well and has this ability to succeed so much is because of this star-studded team that South Carolina has and the people behind it. But never mind whatever I was saying about South Carolina. Northeastern taking the spotlight, taking the attention on themselves as they are shooting and getting so close. They forgot about the 4th member of South Carolina, and that is the goalposts as well as that crossbar.
Best defender. Just
preventing any sort of more aggression or goal from Northeastern.
And Yellow puts it in the back of the net at 4:20 exactly. Yellow top scorer for a reason. What a finish that is. And Northeastern coming on the aggressive in this one. And now up early here in game number 3. Are we just going to see a back and forth, Alex?
We very well may. And like you said, up early. Uncharacteristically for both of these teams in this series, for game 1 and 2, it took us a lot longer to get to that first score. Instead, we get it in 40 seconds, which compared to some of the other matches where we saw 3-second goals, 7-second goals, it's not the same. Og is going to make it by. Did Solar? No, Solar didn't quite get the steal there, but look at this beautiful 50-50. Makes it past 1, gets a 50 there, and Og gets it into the net.
Yeah, and that's that constant pressure that we've seen from USC in this one. And they make it work yet again to even this game up a minute in, or just past a minute in, I should say, a minute 2. But still, what a phenomenal job that was. And now they're back to square one. Game's tied. Nothing else that you've done has, well, it does matter, but nothing else really affects the scoreline until what happens now. So it's lock-in time, and knowing this USC defense, it's going to be hard for Northeastern to find a goal here.
I really do think that has been the story of tonight, of today. When we look at the University of South Carolina, it's their amazing defense, right? We talked about it a little bit when we were looking at the goals that were scored. South Carolina doesn't score a lot, but they don't need to.
Yeah.
They can defend, and if they stop you from scoring, they just need to score one goal, and they're good.
Yeah, and speaking of scoring goals, we're going to see Og. Once again, we said it before the match that Og was going to be quality, and both goals in this game, number 3, have gone his way, really leading the forefront for this South Carolina side as they try and march towards the grand finals.
I think if Northeastern really wants to get ahead in this game, they're going to need to start putting a little bit of pressure on Og, putting the screws to him, just to make him a little bit uncomfortable here. You can't let Og have his way. You can't let him have free reign, and instead you just need to make it a little bit difficult for him to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done, Alex.
Absolutely.
Because there is still 2 other members for that side. So definitely got to keep an eye on them as well, because if Northeastern tries to stop Og directly, that opens up for the other members of the side, which really makes South Carolina so difficult, because yes, Og does stand out in gameplay, but this team together is all so solid. And right now we're seeing just that. Shot guy will take a demo onto Cats, and now we see a shot across, but Yellow is there to stop a certain goal.
A certain goal indeed. And we're just seeing both of these teams kind of throwing the ball back and forth from each of the sides here. An attempt, an aerial. We are going to see a collision up there. It won't be fruitful for South Carolina just yet, but they are still searching. They're looking for the golden apple of goals, and they won't find it just yet. Shot guy pushing the attack, but look at this. Almost every player on Northeastern is zeroing out on their boost. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have any speed.
Yeah, and it's hard to operate in Rocket League when you don't have any boost or any speed. So really gonna put an effect on their game plan, but the only way to do that is to stick true and try and not make any mistakes. And right now, both sides doing just that. But Northeastern, with 1:20 left in this game, needs a goal in order to tie things up and take it into overtime. And meanwhile, South Carolina doing everything they can to stop that Og with a fantastic save.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Northeastern actually winning out in that 50-50. Cats unprepared, wasn't ready for the 50-50 to go in favor of Northeastern. The ball was there, it was set, they almost got the goal, but thankfully South Carolina doubled back. Og was there in order to make that save.
Yeah, Cats puts that ball towards the center, however Northeastern will deal with it, and now it is the aggression from South Carolina. Northeastern needs to try and do that themselves, but they can't. Cats there with an interception. He's going to go with the dribble, tries to find the pass, but can't quite find anything. Solar with the shot, but it gets immediately dealt with by Northeastern. And now 30 seconds left in this one, folks. Northeastern needs this goal, and it looks like it's going to try and be Frazier to give a pass to his teammate, but South Carolina reads it like a book.
And something that I'm really liking here is the communication from all these teams. And it doesn't matter. We see Northeastern trying to get the clear. Og, though, is too fast. That second man position. We saw the interference being run. Og out of nowhere going to get it past the defender of Northeastern. And now South Carolina up 3-1 with 12 seconds remaining. This might be a lost cause for Northeastern. They might just want to be looking towards the next game.
It very well might, Alex. And one thing I want to note, too, is on that goal, all of Northeastern was bunched up around the goal in that one area. And as a result, that's the last nail in the coffin. However, one more game as we head into match point in this one, Alex. USC comes out 3-1, only allowing 3 goals in this entire series.
They have indeed, and this is what we were talking about before, that stalwart defense.
It's incredible.
Where the University of South Carolina is just prepared. They are a wall when they want to be. They get the saves in, they get it done.
Yeah, the crowd behind us are going absolutely wild for it, and I don't blame them. And now, if you're Northeastern, that voice in the back of your head is starting to speak and starting to say, hey, this might be where you go home, but you got to push that away. You still have plenty of time left in this one. 2-1, best of 5. So who knows? Maybe we see another 2, maybe just 1.
It is very possible. We know both of these teams, they are in the money. They want to win a little bit more money, and more importantly, they want that rematch opportunity against GMU. I think South Carolina in particular, right? We're in their backyard. This is hometown advantage. This is home field advantage at this point, right? They want to make sure that, hey, we can defend South Carolina. We're not going to let just a Virginia team come out here and walk over us in our hometown.
Not to mention that, but the recent loss to George Mason as well, I think is still eating at the back of their mind. And if I'm South Carolina, I want immediate revenge as fast as possible. And they're going to try and do that here in match number 4. We see some early pressure from Northeastern, but once again, it is South Carolina dealing with that pressure and negating that Northeastern attack. And right as I say that, Yellow with a fantastic goal.
They can negate some of it, but they can't negate all of it, especially when you have the top scorer of the tournament. Yellow has been a little bit quiet here, but coming out strong in game number 4.
Yeah, Solar was so close to getting on the end of that one, but just wasn't able to get that last touch onto it. And now maybe a little bit of a reset for South Carolina after 2 wins in a row, and you get struck first against by Northeastern. Maybe now try and look at what has Northeastern done to kind of take those goals from you and adjust for that.
Yeah, I mean, something also important to note, we keep talking about it, right? South Carolina, a very defensive team. When they're on the back foot, the question is how well can they go on the aggressive? How well can they try to take the ball away from Northeastern and have those opportunities to try to score?
Yeah, and I think that's really what makes them so dangerous, though, because it's their ability to adjust, to kind of analyze what their opponent is doing, and then sit back and be like, all right, do we need to increase our pace or decrease our pace? And I think that's really what's helped propel them through this game. Og with another fantastic save, and now a counterattack opportunity, but it gets dealt with by Northeastern. Shot guy barely getting on the end of that one. If he didn't, I think that would have been a certain USC goal.
It would have been very scary. It was a very scary situation overall, but thankfully for Northeastern fans out there, Shot Guy was at the right place at the right time, able to get the touch just like Katz is right now. Actually wins out on that 50-50, will fall down into the open arms of Shot Guy, just keeping it alive a little bit longer for Northeastern. Og getting aggressive. South Carolina in general, this is their opportunity. They have possession and they are still moving.
And this is what I'm talking about. They're increasing that pace. They're increasing that rate of attack. They're increasing the aggression. They've dialed all of their knobs up higher, and now they're keeping on this pressure to Northeastern. And if you're Northeastern, you just have to try and hold on, weather this storm, because right now South Carolina is throwing everything they got at Northeastern.
They are indeed, but Northeastern isn't backing down. They are stepping up to this challenge. And speaking of challenge, we're going to see the ball get past one of the South Carolina defenders. South Carolina then has another one to stop it, and they're pushing forward once more. But again, possession is just bouncing around like a ping pong. Like this is pinball rather than Rocket League. And again, another great save from South Carolina. Northeastern just being so aggressive. They are not relenting. They are just moving forward. They want to keep the ball in South Carolina's half.
Northeastern had such a good chance on a wide open net, and they put it just to the right. So unfortunate there. But now Northeastern might have just found a way through, and we see a great dribble by Shot Guy. Doesn't quite find anything, and this is going back and forth, as you said, Alex, like a game of ping pong. But now South Carolina back on the attack. Can they find that last little touch? Shot Guy there to deal with it. But now that ball is put across the goal. No one able to quite find that from South Carolina.
Now, sometimes you have the center, but no one is there or available, and this is what happens when we have these very fast-paced games where communication is good, but it's just not good enough, where that second man, that third man is just not in position at the right time, at the right place. And unfortunately, things that should have been a goal don't quite get done. Frazier looking at 0 boost, trying to go back, has to find something, needs to pick up something. Katz gets lucky, picks up that big corner boost, and has the opportunity. Frazier gets demoed out of the air. No more for him.
And that's a great shot, stopped by Shockeye. Ball put across. Is someone going to be able to find the end of that cross? Not quite. And now back to square one. South Carolina peppering the goal. 45 seconds to go in this one, Alex. Solar with the shot, Frazier with the stop. And now back and forth as Northeastern tries to hang on for dear life.
Time is ticking away. We hear it. Northeastern, they're getting louder. They're getting more excited. 30 seconds remaining. They just need one. They just need to prevent South Carolina from getting anything, and that's exactly what they're doing. They can play keep away for all they care. They just need to prevent, but there it is. Og will find it, the demo in the back. Og gets past the one defender, and just like that, it's tied up with 17 seconds remaining.
Og breaks the deadlock in this one. Northeastern was 17 seconds away from sending this to a game 5, but South Carolina said, we're not done yet. Who else but Og scores for South Carolina, and now 10 seconds left in this one. They're going for the winner.
Yeah, what is happening to Northeastern right now? Nikita Bear is not even casting for them, and they still feel like they're cursed. They almost had the game, and it just slips away from their fingers. We're in overtime now.
And there it is, getting flashbacks to game number 1 here, Alex. Overtime in this game number 4. Who will win? Will we go to a game 5? So many questions unanswered, and so much time to find out.
But a great start from Northeastern. They have the demo off the kickoff. They have the opportunity to have possession, to play it in South Carolina's half here. Frazier tries to get a little wheel tap there, but it doesn't go the right way, and instead it gives South Carolina an opportunity to take a shot here. They won't get it though, and Shockeye trying to keep it going. The aerial is not good. Frazier centers it, but no one's there to collect.
Frazier was such a good cross, but no one on the side of Northeastern was able to get on the end of it. Meanwhile, South Carolina, some dummies pass the ball, and now going for the demos, and now they're trying to get the goal, but Frazier sees right through the game plan. 1 minute in, Northeastern says, we're not done yet. We're heading into game number 5.
We are indeed going into game number 5. Northeastern staying alive just a little bit longer. Who will come out? Will South Carolina be victorious as the hometown advantage, or will Northeastern show that, hey, maybe that Northeast still has some spirit, still has some fight in them?
Yeah, and what a great job, Frazier seeing through. And what South Carolina tried to do, they tried to fake going past the ball and go for the demo to get them out of position, get the boost away from them so they could regain control. But Frazier saw right through it, was able to intercept their just game plan and score the goal in overtime. And now, game number 5, baby.
Game number 5. It looked and felt scary for Northeastern in game 4. They had the advantage the entirety of the game, and then all of a sudden, just one goal from South Carolina made everything just a little bit scarier. But now, game 5, you know what it means.
Where else?
Where else?
Champions Field, baby.
Champions Field. This is where champions are made. We are going to game 5, and whoever wins here, they get to go to grand finals and take on the Titans themselves, GMU, and whoever loses goes home. I will say a little bit richer, but still a little bit sadder as well.
Yeah, they definitely do, Alex. And an early shot by Frazier, South Carolina. A rare defensive error right there. And just like that, Northeastern strikes first on Champions Field.
And look at that, Frazier just flies it in like walking a dog in the air. Frazier and that air dribble knocks it into the back of the net. Wilson's giving me a funny look, and understandably so.
I can't remember the last time I walked my dog in the air, Alex.
Oh, you know, like last time you were on the moon or whatever.
Yeah, never. Anyway, what a great shot, what a great shot by Solar, and an even better save by Frazier in that one. South Carolina wants to try and score here, but no, just wide right there. Northeastern, all of a sudden, after taking an early goal, is being just absolutely pelted by South Carolina. We've seen this before.
We have seen this before, and statistically, when we look at games like this, when Northeastern gets that first goal and they get it early, they are able to close out the distance. They are able to close out the game. So it's already looking very good in Northeastern's favor. But South Carolina may be down, but they're not out. They have that ability to get back into this game. We've seen it before. We've seen overtime. Can we see South Carolina stay alive in game number 5?
Yeah, and I think the thing that's really going to come into key with South Carolina trying to stay in this one is that they need to try and stay calm and stay patient. Yes, I know this is the land. Yes, I know money's at stake. Yes, I know it's game 5 on Champions Field. But you have to stick to your game plan. It's worked so well for them when they've been able to control the pace of the game. So I think just staying calm, staying collected, and making sure that they can execute what they've been practicing all tournament long will help get them through on to the end. Meanwhile, Northeastern, you need to be so careful. And speaking of careful, Yellow almost scoring right there, and South Carolina stays alive and lives to try and defend another day.
Yeah, unfortunately, the positioning for South Carolina just feels a little bit off. And of course, as I say that, Solar from all the way downtown, all the way from their own corner, gets a beautiful shot. No one from Northeastern is even able to get relatively close to that ball, and we're tied up at exactly the 3-minute mark.
And this is exactly what I just said, Alex. A reverse casting curse right there. South Carolina controlling the pace of the game, and meanwhile, early shot by Frazier, that was gonna go in.
That was going to go in, but again, you can't stop the defense of South Carolina. They are too good at what they do, and they're too good at getting the ball already in Northeastern's half. Look at these shots.
Yeah, and they really play patiently and wait for you to come to them and make a mistake. That's what we just saw on their last goal. They exploit the miscommunication right there. So no, Frazier, you got to put that in the back of the net. And once again, the 4th defender for South Carolina, the goal comes in clutch, but no, Frazier says, all right, I'll show you a goal right there. Makes me eat my words once again.
Yeah, Frazier not satisfied with that first earlier miss. Will get a little bit of an assist there. Unfortunately, South Carolina trying to knock it away, accidentally knocks it a little bit closer to the goal.
Yeah,
Northeastern.
it happens.
It happens, absolutely. And I mean, game 5, these players have been playing all day. They played all day yesterday. Fatigue, mistakes, things like that are bound to happen. The thing is, who can overcome those mistakes? Who can overcome that fatigue and truly embrace this LAN environment and build off of it? Northeastern looking like it's them. 2-1 right now, 1:50 remaining.
Still plenty of time in this one, Alex. And one thing I am noticing, Northeastern is trying to get them off their spot, but Og with the dunk right there evens things up with 1:45 left. We're right back to square one, Alex.
We are right back square one. It's all tied up 2-2.
What a
Both
shot.
of these teams are getting energized. They're getting loud. Anytime a goal is scored, you can hear it, you can feel it. You know that they are putting everything on the line here. They know what's at stake, and they want to win it all.
Katz went with an early demo there to try to get his teammate open. Solar with the shot. Katz is there, and just like that, South Carolina from out of nowhere leads 3-2 with 1:34 left in this game 5.
And it feels like it's been a minute since South Carolina has had a lead, but they are feeling comfortable with this. 1:34. It is just a 1-point lead, but a lead is a lead. And when you're looking at a team like South Carolina who has got one of the best defense in the game, I don't know. I would be a little bit worried.
And you have to be so careful. This is when you can get over aggressive. You have to be so careful to not make a mistake if you're Northeastern, because they will punish you just like that. Solar with the goal. South Carolina up by 2.
Up by 2, and time is ticking away. Northeastern, they got to find the secret sauce, and they got to find it now. They need to figure out how to get the ball away from South Carolina and into the back of South Carolina's net, because you have to be careful, and that's an opening there, right there off of the kickoff. Northeastern is one step closer to tying this game up.
Yeah, Northeastern takes a nice mistake rare mistake by South Carolina, puts it in the back of the net, and in one game, Northeastern, I think, has almost equaled their tally of what they've scored.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Northeastern once more gets the better of the kickoff, passes it to Frazier, who has an opportunity.
No.
The save is there, but the goal is even better. Yellow is there to finish it up. We're all tied up 4-4.
And just like that, blink and you'll miss it. Tied up once again, 106. Plenty of time. And Alex, I'm going to say it again.
Yeah, say it.
We're right back to square one, baby.
We
Champions Field, 1 minute, match number 5. Where else but here? And now South Carolina trying to adjust, and Northeastern trying to get a goal, trying to get something to work. And we're seeing demos flying out left and right. Both teams trying to establish their game plan here in the final minute.
It looked all but lost for Northeastern, but in the span of 30 seconds, a minute and 30 seconds, they have scored 3 goals, and they've not only gotten back into this game, they've gotten ahead in this game. It is 5-4 right now. 49 seconds remaining. South Carolina, the ball is in your court, and they're starting out strong with the demo.
And Frazier, who else but he has stepped up in this series, has really paved the way for this team. And no, Cat's trying to say we're not done it out yet. Back and forth between these teams. We're right back to square one, Alex.
This is a good old-fashioned brawl. These teams are just swinging left and right, left and right. This is one of the more higher scoring games that we've seen in a while. 37 seconds remaining, 5-5 right now. The players are neck and neck. They know what's on the line. They know what's on stake here, and they're still going.
Save.
The shot, it's not good. It's
But
stopped.
the shot, Frazier puts it in the back of the net for Northeastern.
And just
Sorry
like
to cut
that,
you off there, Alex.
no worries. Just like that, we are just inching closer, ever closer to 0 seconds. Both of these teams are going all out. It's like they're forgoing defense. They just want offense. They just want goals. They just want any sort of advantage that they can get. In South Carolina, they need to try to get another goal again, but time is wasting. Time is ticking away. 10 seconds remaining. They got to keep it alive.
Yellow with a great save, and now shot goes across the net. Cats can't quite get onto that. And now ball back in the middle area. 1 second left. That ball's going to go across. And no, it will touch the ground. Northeastern is heading to the grand finals of Boost on the Beach.
Northeastern crawling their way through the loser side of things, redeeming themselves here and now winning out in Game 5 against South Carolina. Oh my goodness.
What a series that was, Alex. Back and forth between these two sides, and just, it was so crazy to watch, just the absolute just back and forth. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, man, because that is exactly what you want with a Game 5 on Champions Field. They did it justice right there.
Yeah, madness there. Absolute madness. Both of these teams going all the way, putting everything out there. I know we said whoever wins is a champion and they deserve to move on to the grand finals, but both of these teams are champions in their own rights.